we have generated over 281 opportunities in the span of like 4 months. We were getting a lead for every 130 people contacted. Zloty is one of the people that is absolutely crushing it for very tough customers. Web design agencies are one of those businesses that many people are afraid to get. So breaking down the campaign, I'm going to give you a breakdown of one of the campaigns that we were launching for a web design agency, and you can see that we have generated over 281 opportunities in the span of like 4 months. This campaign was absolutely crushing. We were getting a lead for every 130 people contacted. So I'm going to give you a breakdown how we built it from start to finish. And just to give you a heads up, I was not the person that built that campaign. Zloty, one of my team members, was responsible for crafting the campaign, coming up with the idea, and basically the full execution. And Zloty is one of the people that is absolutely crushing it for very tough customers. Like, he is known in the company for cracking outbound for customers that is very, very complicated to get results for. And web design agencies are one of those businesses that many people are afraid to get, but I'm going to show you how we launched the campaign. My name is Alex, I'm the founder of Code Labs. We work only with marketing agencies, and our proposition is that we bring the scientific approach to make cold email your #1 acquisition channel. And I'm going to show you how we did it with this customer. So breaking down the campaign, I'm going to start with infrastructure. How we set up the infrastructure. To be honest, we didn't use anything fancy. We only set up Google inboxes, and we had one domain for every 3 inboxes that we purchased. So 1-to-3 ratio. We only purchased .com domains. We warmed them up for 3 weeks using Instantly before we launched the campaign. In terms of the campaign, you can see it was a very old campaign. We launched it as a test for a very small fraction of the market before we decided to move into another industry. But you see the email copy, we used the same email copy and we just launched it for many, many different industries. Same email copy, you can replicate the same process. But we were getting a lead for every 130 people contacted. We launched the test, the customer decided to switch up the industry because they didn't want to work with logistics companies, and that's why we decided to pivot. But looking at the email copy, this is what we used. We had a subject line, which was like, we syntax 2 versions for the subject line, but a rule of thumb for the subject lines. We keep them 1 to 3 words, all lowercase, and I'm usually trying to include the word idea in the subject line, because we see that whenever we add the word idea into the subject line, it sparks curiosity, it stands out from the rest of the cold emails, and then it gets your email opened, which is the whole purpose of the subject line. We had personalization points for first line. We had a bunch of spin tags because we wanted to scale this campaign and we want to make sure that every email looks unique. And then we had another personalization point here for hex codes, which I'm going to get to in a second. But basically, we used a combination of Instantly, Clay, and AI models to craft this personalization. Let me show you the Clay table. So what we used, very, very simple. We scraped all the companies by using the Clay's native integration for finding companies. We put the search queries, and we got all the companies that are logistics companies. Now, once we got all these companies, we enriched their LinkedIn profiles so we can get the official company website. We then used an AI model, ClayGent, to visit the web and make sure that these company websites are actually accessible and they're visible. And then this is the process that we do for qualifying all the companies for a fit. We want to make sure that we only reach out to relevant prospects. Right now, we do it a bit different, but I'm going to give you the process that we used a couple months ago, because right now we have like internal tools. Instead of using Zenros to scrape the company websites, we're using a custom tool that we've built in-house. But I'm giving you this example because you can replicate the same process. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to just replicate the same process. But what do? Once we have the company website, we use an AI model, we use ClayGent that visits the web, and it has only one purpose. Visit the web and find all the links on the company website by clicking all the buttons, and find the links that most likely contains substantial information about the company. Because we don't just want to rely on the homepage content or the LinkedIn description to qualify the companies for a fit. We use ClayGent, it visits the web, it goes to different types of URLs. As you can see, we have like /services. We get all the links, and then we scrape each one of those links using Zenros. Once we have all the content, instead of using ClayGent to qualify the companies for a fit, because you get a lot of hallucinations, we use content manipulation prompts to qualify the companies significantly more accurate. And we take it one step further. Like, we have this small little word right here that like looks incredible. I just want to brag about it. But you can use OpenAI content manipulation prompt to just qualify the companies for a fit. What we used was a custom HTTP request, and we used a platform called Grok, which can connect you with multiple different AI models that are not available on Clay. And we used Llama 4 because it has significantly bigger, what you want to call it, like context window. So you can give more information and you have like better outputs. And its main purpose is to just qualify the companies for a fit and reference exactly how it came to the conclusion that these companies are logistics companies. Now, getting into the personalization points. Once we have all the companies and they're qualified, we want to personalize the messages because we have a bunch of personalization points. Like the first line, what do we do here? So we wanted to craft a line that has a prefix. So it's static, but then insert like custom personalizations using the prefix. So the prefix here was, I know you guys are the best, and we use the business type. Like, I know you guys are the best 3PL provider, and then we use the location that we have of the company. And we wanted to make this location like a bit conversational. So for example, if we had, what you want to call it, if we had the neighborhood, we would use the neighborhood and we would reference this in almost like a conversational and friendly way of speaking. And so one example, I know you guys are the best 3PL provider in the States. Like, we don't use in the United States, we just say, I know you guys are the best 3PL provider in the States. That's the first line that we used. So every company that we reached out, it had a personalized first line. Then we said, but do you take suggestions on how to show it on your website? I had a few suggestions to make a great first impression. If I redo the first section on your website, I will maintain your, and then we have a personalization point for hex codes, colors. Would you spend 15 minutes reviewing it together? So how did we craft this one? We used ClayGen that visited the company website, and its main purpose was to just visit the website and extract 2 branding colors that are visible on the website. And we had a fallback option. Like, if we didn't have good branding colors, we would just use the word branding. So the message would look something like, if I redo the first section of your website, I will maintain your branding colors, or we would reference the specific hex codes that they have. Would you spend 15 minutes reviewing it together? So that was the campaign. Very, very simple, but it has infinite auto-adjustable market. And once we know the numbers, the next steps are going to be, how do we nurture the leads properly once we have a positive reply to get them to book a meeting? And we then just have to scale the campaigns, maintain good infrastructure health, and that's how we basically make cold email your #1 acquisition channel. I'm going to include one case study video that you can take a look as an example. It explains exactly the customer experience with working with us and the stuff that they were doing to nurture those leads. So I think that's going to be very, very helpful. But anyways, if you have any questions, drop them in the comment and I'll try to answer each one of them. Thank you so much.